You know the classic advice for changing your life for the better. Go to school, study hard, train hard, and do it all over again, right? But the truth is, if that is all there is to it, why are there so many well-trained, well-educated, hardworking women who are so unfulfilled in life? Hi, my name's Keisha Dent. I'm a certified hypnotist and the author of Life Change Now. And today I want to welcome you for joining me for this video. We're talking all about confidence, and specifically confidence in women. Now, confidence is so extremely important and vital to having a fulfilled life. Confidence has everything to do with the type of career you have, the type of lifestyle that you have, really what you go for, what you feel like you can go for and actually achieve. And of course, ultimately, what you do achieve. After all, confidence is how you handle the unknown. Confidence is really how you determine what you can get. And as we have discussed before in videos in the past, life fulfillment is all about your relationship to the unknown. Most likely, the change that you want is to be found in the unknown. And confidence determines how well you know that you can handle the unknown and get what you want. So confidence is completely important. In fact, it has so much to do with, again, what you achieve, what you do, keeping your relationships healthy, and basically, in short, living a life that you are happy to live, okay? So I want to talk about a book that really changed my life very briefly. And I'm, of course, not endorsed by this book at all. I read it a while ago. I actually did a little short video on this book alone, and it actually changed my life. And this book is called The Confidence Code, The Science and Art of Self-Assurance, What Women Should Know by I think it's either Katie K or Katie K and Claire Shipman. So mine is a Kindle copy. And this book changed my life because it basically talks about the confidence gap that can be observed in society between men and women. And of course, moving into the new discussions that we're having and the new lives that we're having today, it can be equipped to people who are, or equated to people who are raised specifically as, say, a cisgender male and others, okay? People who are not in that category. And really seeing the difference that in behaviors and in life fulfillment and in achievement. It's very, very fascinating. Some of the very real differences that were outlined in this book are very, very, very striking. And it's something that I know I can relate to. For example, people who are boys, men, or people who identify with that from the beginning, people who were raised in that way, are more often raised in a certain way. They're more often raised to handle frequent rejection. They're more often raised to be encouraged to move faster, to be messier, to break things. They're encouraged to and are actually be more permitted to be aggressive and honoring their boundaries in the pursuit of their desires. They're permitted to have desires, and they're actually praised for having and achieving and pursuing achievements and taking action. Now, on the other hand, it's very interesting that girls and women are more often, by comparison, raised to avoid conflict and to be accommodating. They're more often encouraged to be neat and nice and kind and good. They're more often discouraged from being aggressive and having worldly desires. And they're often praised more for qualities that are passive, such as beauty, kindness, obedience. That's a big one. So you can kind of see the difference and the duality that's happening here. And how does that affect us? Well, we're finding, as is brought up in the book, that this encouragement, the way that we're behaved, increases male confidence more, especially when it comes to putting yourself out there, especially when it comes to honoring your boundaries, asserting yourself, and going after what you want. And this has resulted in men being much more confident, especially in the workplace. They will often apply to and pursue opportunities where they are poorly qualified or very, very qualified. There's actually studies on this. Women, on the other hand, are more likely to hold back, to want perfection, to want everything to be lined up just so, all T's crossed, all I's dotted, before they consider themselves worthy to pursue an opportunity. Men are willing to go for it. When they're willing to be rejected, they have more confidence that they can handle something. Women will tend to self-doubt themselves more often. And this can go directly back to the way we were raised, okay? And so why is this a problem? Well, we already talked about how important and vital confidence is to all of our success and also our sense of self-fulfillment. It's so, so important. And you may want to ask yourself, even almost 50 years, which isn't a long time, believe me, 50 years after some of the most overt and undisguised and least sneaky discriminatory laws have been challenged and struck down, women are still, and again, there are studies to back this up, women are still behind, especially when it comes to income, when it comes to wielding real economic power in society. And although this is a complicated topic, and there's several other things going on here as well, including this still figuring out the whole family, childhood thing as well that women need to do as well. But in addition to that, we also could take a look at the way we're raised and having a very, very real result in our lives, okay? So, knowing how important confidence is in your life, especially if you're a woman, especially if you are not consider yourself being raised as, a cisgender male in any way, I want to ask you, or we could ask the question, so what can we do about it? What can we possibly do about it? Well, first of all, I want you to, number one, have self-compassion for yourself. You are certainly part of a bigger thing that has been going on. This is something that we have been grappling with for centuries. This is something that's bigger than any one person, so you can't ever blame yourself. If you feel like you're struggling with your confidence, if you're feeling like you can't speak up, or or start yourself, or struggling with going after what you want, know that, number one, it's not your fault. This is often the result of societal upbringing, societal conditioning. So it's really important to be compassionate to yourself, okay? Especially if you are, again, raised as a woman or a girl, you were undoubtedly raised to be kind, obedient, nice, and accommodating. I'm not a go-getter, not a rule breaker, not an action taker, which life will demand these things from you in order to really feel the most fulfilled, the most actualized, and the most successful, okay? And so, number one, have compassion for yourself. Number two, give yourself permission to go after what you want. Now, this is a huge one. Again, when you're not raised and encouraged to go after these things, when you actually are encouraged to be nice and quiet and obedient and stay in place, it's actually more likely that you were not given permission for these things. So it's important to give yourself permission. And this is something that can be deep work, and I encourage you to work with me if this is something that you feel like is a hard time. If at any time you think about going after something you want, something that scares you, or you start procrastinating or making excuses, that could be a sign that you need to give yourself permission to go after what you want. Okay. Number three is to learn to manage your negative and fearful thoughts. Negative and fearful thoughts lie at the root of everything that we are having an issue with. So it's so important to be able to manage your thoughts as far as whenever that critical voice that you've been conditioned with comes back to criticize you, to tear you down from getting what you want and saying that you have to stay in your place. Number four is when you take action towards what you want, no matter how small, praise yourself, and praise yourself often. Self-praise is the antidote to low confidence, to low self-esteem. We don't praise ourselves enough. We stop praising each other often after childhood. And this has a big effect on us as adults, okay? Number 5 is to do something every day, every week, every month, whatever you can manage that scares you, and praise yourself for doing so, okay? And finally, if you would like to develop your confidence, book a free consultation with me. Okay, I would love to work with you, and we can certainly go down this path together. You don't have to do this work alone. Absolutely, I can be there with you. Hypnosis is a powerful, powerful tool to program yourself and reprogram yourself for success, okay? So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Keisha Dent, certified hypnotist, and remember, in order to change your life, you must first change yourself. Thank you so much, and we'll see each other next time. Take care. Bye.